There we go. Yeah, so let's start with what questions you guys have for me.
Okay, now you're talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just couldn't hear, so
Can you hear now?
yes, I can. Get off that.
So what questions did you have about the lesson plan?
Okay, so my question is, okay, I'm a primary school teacher, so does it mean that, like, for the day's schedule, like, so let's say if I teach like 5 subjects for the day, so the lesson plans that I should be submitting should be like,
Yeah, it will be 6 different lesson plans, 1 for each class. So
right,
one day you're going through the entire day of your lesson. So if you teach 5 classes in that one day, what lesson are you going to plan for each period that you have, right? And what's going to be your goal for each of those lessons? I know some
right,
teachers teach the same subject, so they really only have to do 1 lesson.
right,
If they only teach math and all of the students are going to be doing that 1 math lesson. But if you teach several different lessons, then you might have to do more than 1 different lesson plan. And I wasn't understanding, because usually out here, my kids are also in elementary and middle school, which is primary school out there. And the way that it's done is that 1 teacher teach maybe math, 1 teacher teach science. So each teacher teach, you know, a specific subject, and that's their area of expertise. And so they just teach that specific subject to like the different grade levels.
okay.
So it's a little bit different, and I had to kind of understand the difference between how you teach and how they teach in Belize, which is a little bit different. You guys teach multiple subjects in primary school, so it's a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah, so if you're teaching 6 different periods, then you have to create 6 different lessons.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that's just for one day though.
Yeah, it's only for one day. We didn't want you guys to do the entire week because it was too much. And this is for you to gain practice. So if you create a lesson, then you're going to create a lesson. And when you create a lesson, you also have an assignment attached to that lesson, right? So you're creating your lesson, and you're going to also upload the assignment that's going to be related to that specific lesson for the day.
Right, makes sense. I understand.
Yeah. So, any other questions? I want to share my screen so that I could show you like an example of what it would look like. Do you guys see how when you're going into the modules, how we create, you have a specific topic, and underneath that topic, you have lessons that you're completing. And then after you complete those lessons, whether it's reviewing a video, whether it's reviewing a PowerPoint, whether it's reading an article, you complete that lesson, and then you have an assignment that you have to do so you can kind of practice whatever it is that you learn. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I will go into one of the classrooms. Let's see which classroom I want to go into. Let's go in here. Gosh, people keep joining, so let me let them in. Admit all. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I am in, right now I'm actually in a student's workspace, Claire. So she created her lesson, which was, it looks like it was she teaches a fabric class. And the lesson that she created, she actually gave her students notes first to kind of review on patterns and fabrics. So this is, if you're doing a PowerPoint, if you're doing a video, that would be the lesson that you're doing. So you would create whatever lesson that you want them to learn. Like if it's a math lesson, then you will do the math lesson, and you would either videotape your math lesson, or you can also do it on the whiteboard. There's different ways, and you learn in module 2 how to create videos. You learn how to do PowerPoint videos. So you should be able to create some sort of lesson around what you've learned for your students. And once you've created that, then you can then design what the lesson plan is going to be, which for you see here, she actually did some PowerPoint slides for her students. So they're going to go through and review these PowerPoint slides. And this could be a video, this could be anything. It doesn't have to be a PowerPoint. Whatever mode you want your lesson plan to be in, you're welcome to use that mode. You've learned about several different ways to do a lesson in the other module. So you can choose how you want to deliver your lesson plan, right? And then she also did. Mom, look how strong. Okay, mommy's on the mommy's in a meeting. So you can definitely figure out how you want to be able to do that. Like for instance, she used the template that I provided, but like I said, you guys don't have to use any of my templates. You can just use these as a guide for yourself. You can choose the way that you have been doing it normally when you create your lesson plan in Belize. I just wanted to provide you guys with an example, some tips as to what it would look like for you to be able to, get some ideas. So I'll stop share there. And did that make sense to you guys? Do you have any questions around that? If so, please let me know. Was that more clear for those of you who were kind of struggling to understand the directions? Just let me know, guys. If you have questions, please let me know, because I know I've been getting a lot of some comments and emails saying, I don't understand, I want to get more clarity. And so that's why I decided to jump on really quickly to see how I could provide some sort of clarity.
Afternoon.
Hi. Go ahead.
I just want to say, guys, it does make sense to me. Your explanation has got much clarity in terms of knowing how to plan. If I should have planned for the 5 subjects that I teach every day, or just selected ones. And so I feel much better knowing that I can use the structure that we use, the format, in terms of doing this assignment. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that many people got confused thinking that they had to use the ones that I was just providing that as a resource, but I know you guys have your own way of doing it, which is fine. You do it the way that you're used to doing it. And you can also try to do it with one of the templates that I have. Either way is not wrong. So yeah. Any other feedback or any other questions?
Being that, hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Being that we have to use our lesson plan template that we have, because we have basically, we started introduction, development, and conclusion, whereby looking at this whole Google Classroom setting and how we have been operating as a teacher along with you guys. You guys have been giving us videos, then we actually do the assignment. So it's a bit confusing for me. It's the first time I'm working with Google Slides. I kind of bit have an idea of how you want us to structure it. Just that it's the template that we use is more lengthy, and it's not so much student centered. It's a template that we use to forward to our superior or administrators. So yours is more simpler, more student centered for us to use rather than use our introduction, development,
Yeah.
conclusion.
Yeah, and I mean, it's up to you guys, but I think it's definitely going to be whatever you choose to do is going to be based on what your district or the school is requiring for you to do. Mine definitely is more student based, but I guess the ministry wants you guys to have more of a more in-depth information, which is more administrative, for more administrative. Whereas for me, it's just, okay, this is the lesson for today, and this is what you guys are doing. It gets straight to the point, and it makes it a little bit less complex for the students to understand.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And not only that, I think I messaged you last night, and you said we have until the 4th to complete the assignment.
Yeah.
Not only that, so every day we work on one day. Let's say it's 6 subjects for that one Monday that we have to teach. So it's one. Let's say we stretch it out one day, we do one lesson, something like that. So we don't. Are we not getting any other work between the duration?
No, you're actually going to be getting assignments every single day. But what I'm telling you is that you can like today, I don't think you have a lot of assignments. I
haven't gotten any
assignments for today because I wanted to make sure that you had some time to work on this particular lesson plan. So I didn't assign any for today because I know it was gonna take time, because you have to now think about, okay, each period of your class and what you're going to be doing with each of your students and what assignment you're gonna assign to them based on the lesson plan. But I just want you to think of it as something simplistic. You're not gonna be making this complex, because you're just really learning how to use Google Classroom. And I think once you actually learn how to use it, it will become much easier. But this is just you figuring out how to, design your class online. And it'll take some time, which is why you plan the lesson first. Okay, this is what I want to do for period 1. This is what I want to do for period 2. And then each of those lessons will have one assignment that you want to use. Your lesson will then be either in PowerPoint or Google, or a video. Whatever you're teaching, you have to pick a platform as to how you're going to teach that. Are you going to teach it through like a video where you're going to be speaking and going through the information, or are you going to be doing it through, like, for instance, PowerPoint, right? I think I could show you. I'll share my screen again. I'll show you one example of what the teachers for my kids, like as far as teaching them. That way you kind of see an example. Oh gosh, so many people joining. I'm sorry. I have to keep admitting everyone. Okay, let me share my screen again and get to one of my, let me see. I think I shared this as an example with you guys, but I have a student, my daughter is in 6th grade, and this is the lesson that I get every single week from the teacher. She provides me with these every week as a parent, and she separates them in math, science, whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing, she separates them. So I think this is how I asked you guys. This is the example that I gave you guys, but you don't have to follow this particular example. So for Monday, as you can see, my kid is going to be doing subtraction, and she's going to be doing fractions and whole numbers. And what she does is that she gives them a lesson plan. Every single day she gives a lesson plan to my daughter, and so every single day she logs on and she does the work that she's supposed to do. So this is just a Google slide that's posted weekly, assigning and letting the students know every single work that they're going to be doing. If you organize your work like this, it could definitely be significantly easy for you, where you have different subjects and you say, okay, for science, this is what I'm teaching. For math, you know, PE, this is what I want them to do, you know, different things. And she has like a video that they need to watch. Let me show you another way that she actually teaches the student, like how she would do the lesson planning. Let me go to the classrooms. Yeah. So for instance, if she's doing a math lesson for my daughter, she would actually create a video where she actually goes through the lesson, and my daughter reviews that lesson. So let me see, I think week 8, she might, week 7 might be where she has a video. So let's see. So I open her Google slide, and she really makes it very creative, you know, for students to want to go in and, you know, seeing all of this, they're like, oh, what is going on, you know? And again, the lessons for Tuesday, but the first day, I believe, is when she creates the lesson slide. So if I click here and I open this, it'll take me into the lesson that she has. And for this particular week, they were learning distributive properties. And so she created a slide for them to go through and learn about distributive properties.
We're not seeing.
Oh, you guys can see?
It freeze.
Oh, it
It's
freeze?
still on PE.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's freezing. Is it freezing for everybody?
No.
Yes, for me, yes.
Yeah,
For me,
okay.
Yes.
He's freezing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
let me see. All right. Okay, I'm back to the regular, like all of us. Can you guys see all of us in the little box?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, let me try this again then. All right, where was I? I was here. So as you can see, can you see this now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you can see the math. Yep.
yeah, so she created a PowerPoint for the lesson. So this is a lesson she created, a PowerPoint for my daughter to review. And then with this PowerPoint, this is the first day that my daughter is gonna, so it's a Monday. Okay, Monday, you're to review the lesson. So you go through all of this, and then the rest of the week, she assigns all of the other assignments. Sorry, people keep joining, so I keep having to stop and add. And then day 2,
It's
then
the internet. That's the reason why.
Yeah, it's the internet. You're right. So day 2, then she gives them a worksheet. And based on the lessons that they reviewed yesterday, they have to complete this worksheet, right? So you see how before they get the lesson and now they get the assignments. So really and truly, as you're planning your lesson plan, you want to make sure that you're aligned with that. You create a lesson and then what's going to be the assignment. How the students are going to practice what you teach them. Another way of teaching, let me show you another way that you can do it. I think week 6, she had Google Slides again, and then she had a video where they're learning. She was teaching them through, I believe, a video. So let's see. So like student application. So how you guys familiar? Well, you're familiar now with Loom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
here is Loom, and this is a math lesson, and this is how she was teaching the students via video. And she used Loom to do this.
Mm.
right? And the students hear her talking as she's doing the work. And you
So
can do this with, I believe you can do this with Loom, and you guys might have learned about Loom and Jing and all the different platforms in module 2.
So am I correct when I say that I can have a PowerPoint where I can use Loom, I can have activities, I can have videos, and my lesson plan? Is that what we're looking for?
Well, it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to use it, use a video through Loom, you can create your lesson plan that way. If you want to use a PowerPoint, you can create your lesson plan that way as well. It's up to you as to how you feel is most feasible for you to do it. For most people, if you don't have access for, let me make this silent. For most people, if you do not have access to, for instance, you know, getting Loom or video or anything like that, it might be easier to do just a voice over PowerPoint. For some people, you can even videotape yourself on a blackboard, you know, teaching them how to do you just have the camera set up to where the student can see you on the board, right? It's just you being creative with how you're going to do that lesson.
Okay, thank you. And then another question. So it's all these lessons will be for one day that you have. So you have,
Yes.
if I have 3 classes, because I'm secondary, if I have 3 classes, it means I will do 3 lessons with their activities and all that, right?
Yes, yes. So yes, that's what it means.
Okay, okay. And then how do I know that you are able to view it? Because I know we had opened the
Google
classroom.
Classroom.
Yes.
Yeah, you send me the
And I sent
classroom
you a
code.
code. I sent you a code.
So once I get the code, when we are reviewing all of the content, I will put that code in. For some people, I've already kind of been looking at their classrooms. And so I actually have taken the code and went in and saw some of you, some of your lessons already. But not everybody, because for each of the classes, we have over 300, so we have to get, like, you know, it'll take time to go through and look at everything one by one.
Will we get like a confirmation that you're receiving these and you can view them?
You will get that confirmation once we start to monitor your content. Yeah, it won't come right away because right now we're just focusing on getting the classes completed, and you will be able to get that once we begin to look at your content. Then we'll give you feedback.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, just for, if you guys don't have any other questions, you're definitely free to log off, and then I guess I'll stay on for the next hour. So if you can let your colleagues know if they have questions, they can log on and ask. But I don't want it to get overcrowded. So if you guys feel like you have a better understanding, then you can go ahead and log off and start working. I know today we didn't give any assignment because we wanted you guys to start working on this too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you were able to get a little bit more understanding.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The lesson plan that we do, do you post that for the students to see online in the Google Classroom?
No, that's going to be for you. When I say lesson plan, what you're doing is you are creating just your plan, and you could definitely post it for your students to see what their lesson is for today. Most teachers I know have posted it. have posted like the lesson plan. So you're welcome to post your lesson plan, but I understand that you guys' lesson plan in Belize is a little bit different from the examples that I provided. The
Yes,
examples that
yes.
I provided are really simplistic, whereas you guys' actual lesson plan out there seems a little bit more comprehensive.
Yeah,
Well,
it's more detailed.
it is true, and I like the format of the sample that you provided, because
Really
I think
simple.
I feel that if we share that, and hence the reason why I asked the question, that if we shared it with our students, then they would be in a better position to know what is it that
Yeah.
we are going to cover during the course of, maybe if you plan for a week or 2 weeks, they will have an idea, and so they can prepare ahead of time. And also you are in a position where you are providing different links to the different information or the material that you're going to cover. So hence the
Yes.
reason I'm asking, is it
Yes.
could
Did
we
you
share
just
it with
come in?
them?
Did you just come in, Louis?
Yes, I just came in. I just
Okay,
became
I
aware of the
actually
meeting.
just shared my daughter's lesson plan. She's also in primary school, and I just shared the lesson plan that I get from her teachers on a weekly basis. And
Okay,
for instance, this is what it looks like. She gave me a lesson plan. She uploaded a lesson plan to my daughter's classroom every single week. So Monday, what my daughter had to do was learn about subtraction. So she posted the lesson for subtraction, and she had to do that. And then for Tuesday, she was doing problem solving practice, right?
okay,
She posted a lesson for them to know every day what they have to do. And that's really what that's the example that I provided to you guys. But then I was told that the way that you guys do your lesson plan is completely different than what
yeah,
I'm showing. So mine is a little more simplistic, as opposed to what you guys do in Belize. So what I was saying is that you're able to use mine as an example, but you will still have to make sure you try to adapt it in a way to what you guys are required to do.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because I don't want to make you say that you can do it. This is a more simplistic version that you would probably do for your student. But for the
yes,
you maybe have to turn into the ministry, that's definitely going to be more comprehensive,
okay, all
right?
right,
So it all depends on how your class is designed and what your school is requiring for you to do.
well, it is something that I think I would share with the administration, because
Mhm.
I
So,
definitely can see how this can work for us, since we are not in school, and
mhm.
at the same time students are able to follow along what is it that is being covered. And so then it is up there, and it is left to them to access the information whenever they can, and not necessarily have to be or have, because what I've been doing is to have Zoom meetings with them, but there are
Mhm.
times when they don't attend the meeting. And
Yeah.
so then by doing this and providing the links, then I can see where this can work for them, where they can come at a later date or a later time to go over the material and then ask questions if they do have any, no?
Yeah, and
So,
that's definitely for me as a working parent. I am grateful for the teacher sharing this entire lesson plan with me, because then I'm not able to join the Zoom live. Like I can't ever go to her Zoom live because I also teach, and I also have classes that I need to teach sometimes, or I have a meeting that conflicts with when she's holding the class live. So it
okay,
is helpful. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys is the format of how you are going to present your lesson. Module 2 with Mr. Underwood, you were able to learn how to use Loom, how to use Jing, how to use a lot of different platforms to kind of portray or send your message across virtually. This is an example of my daughter's teacher. She uses Loom, and so she uses it, and it helps because my daughter get to watch this and she's able to follow along.
okay. All right. Well, since I started using the different platforms, that's what I did. Doing short tutorials, probably of 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and then upload that to the Google Classroom so that students could use that as a resource to help themselves in trying to understand the content that is being presented to them.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
And it's definitely helpful for them to understand this.
okay. All right. Thank you very much. That was my question.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, doctor, good afternoon. I just
Hi.
managed to log in. Um, the work that you have indicated to us is very simple, and I guess it's very explicit. Simple is it's very easy to follow.
Simplistic.
Exactly. My question is, this work, the one that you have just shared with us, with work with your daughter, that's what we are expected to do, right? Once we adapt it to our environment or to our, okay. And my next question is that when the work is supposed to be due?
Yes, you actually, this module is going to last you the next 2 weeks. This module until June 4th.
Yeah.
If you teach 5 different classes, I understand you cannot get your lesson plan done within that one entire, just 1 hour to do all of those. But what I do recommend is that you take the time to, maybe work on a lesson every day, which is work on creating the lesson, whether it's a lesson that's going to be on video, a lesson that's going to be on PowerPoint, however, whatever platform you plan to use. And then after you do your lesson, how are you going to assign a quiz? Are you going to assign skills? How are you going to, what assignment are you going to give based on the lesson? And really and truly, it's that simple. You're providing them with a lesson, and then you're providing them with an assignment based on that lesson.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Hi, Miss. I have one question.
Go ahead.
This is Miss Cancino. Mom, I have Googled my Spanish lesson plan. What I have done is a 1 day, 1 day plan. I attached a PowerPoint, converted my slide to a video, my PowerPoint. I attached that as well as a guidance, like a virtual lesson. And also, I think I uploaded the slide one, and each picture has a hyperlink with tutorials that will lead them to complete my task. That's what I have done so far with Google Classroom.
Well, good.
I don't know if I am going correct.
It sounds like you're going in the right direction. Like I said, you're creating a lesson plan that includes the lesson that you're teaching, video or PowerPoint, or whatever platform you choose to use is fine to get your lesson across. And then you're also creating that assignment related to that particular assignment.
And then I am not sure if the assignment I tagged there, I want them to create a video, and they're one at the setting of a restaurant. So I have all that instruction there. I am new to Google Classroom, Miss Kendra, because the platform I am using is the Microsoft Team. So I have to balance, myself working with this practice with Google Classroom and my Microsoft Team platform.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not sure if I'm going the right way.
No, you can assign your students to turn in a video. I mean, my kids, if they have PE, the teacher send them this like a flyer. They get a flyer on the type of workout she wants them to do, and then have to videotape her doing some of the workouts and teacher. So that's a way of you seeing that they're completing the assignment. So if that's the lesson that you want to give them, is to upload a video of themselves doing something, that's fine.
Miss Kendra.
Thank you, Miss.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Miss Kendra.
Uh-huh.
I uploaded my one, but I just uploaded the math for 1 day. So I will continue doing for the rest of the day, but I will submit another one, or I just unsubmit it and then submit the rest.
No, if you already submitted your lesson plan.
But just one for math. I didn't do like for the day, like science and language.
Yeah, you're supposed to, if you're teaching 5 different periods, then you have to submit a lesson plan for each period. That way, because you're planning for the entire day of school. Right?
So I will submit that one and then add the rest and submit it again for you.
Okay, you can do that, but you can just add. I don't think you need to take it unless you want. You mean you're gonna add more of the days to the?
Yes, I will add.
Yeah,
more.
that's fine. You can update it. That's fine.
Okay, and I did I used the lesson plan template, the one that you just showed right now from your child, from your teacher's child. Is that okay, or should I do the lesson?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I was, I was told that you guys, I gave you as an example. I know that for you, the ministry expects a little bit more comprehensive. So you're gonna have to make sure that you look at my examples just as examples, but you're going to use whatever policy or requirements that you have for your particular school, and you're gonna incorporate that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use the template, it's fine, but make sure that whatever you're doing is aligned with what your school requires for you to do.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? I hope this is helpful and you guys kind of understand a little bit more. I'm looking in the chat. Let me see.
Good afternoon, Miss Kendra.
Hi, good afternoon.
I have a question. I teach high school. At our school, we teach like first and second formers, but we have several classes. Like for example, we have A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. So we use the same schedule throughout the day. So
if your schedule is the same for, like, if you're teaching 5 math class and your lesson plan is the same for all of them, you just need to create that one lesson plan because you're going to be doing the same thing each period.
Yeah, because that will be used for the day.
Yeah, and so that's easier for you, but for the primary school teachers, a lot of them teach more than one subject, so they're probably going to be creating more than one because they're planning for your day.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for the course you're giving. It's very interesting and I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kendra?
Yes?
The Google Classroom that I am using is the one that we created for practice in module 1, I think, from the digital.
That's going to be your classroom. Yeah, you created that classroom and you can definitely use it now as you're going to start inviting your students to come in and join.
Okay. And the facilitator asked us to add 3 teachers, also taking the workshop to our classroom. So I have 3 students and teachers that are here in this platform right now in my specific class. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's how I'm going to do my practice. Okay.
Yeah, they can be your practice students and you can say, hey, did you guys see my lessons? Did you understand it clearly?
Okay.
Just get the feedback from them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I got a question that says I teach in primary school level, but I only teach one subject, so I only submit one lesson plan. Yes, it would only be one lesson plan because each of your period you're teaching the same thing. Unless you're teaching a different lesson for each period, then you would create like a different lesson. Like if you're teaching maybe first form, you teach science. second form, you teach science, then the first form science is not going to get the same lesson as a second form science. They're going to be two different lessons, unless they're all getting the same lesson. But I would think that if you're teaching different grade levels, then they're going to get different lessons. If you just sign in, it's fine. You can ask your questions, because I know that some people are leaving because they already got their questions answered and some new people are coming in. I'll be here until 1:30, so whoever comes in will get their questions answered. Any other question?
Hello, Ms. Kendra.
Hi, go ahead.
Well, my question is, when we submit a lesson plan, you want us to submit the lesson plan and the PowerPoint?
Yes, you're actually creating the lesson that's related to the lesson plan that you're doing. So if you're doing a lesson plan for math, then what's the lesson for that? And then what's the assignment for that, right? So you should create a lesson plan, and then you create the lesson. What platform you're going to use? Is it PowerPoint presentation? Is it going to be video presentation? How are you going to bring forth that lesson virtually? What platform are you going to use? And then after you do the lesson, you create the lesson, how are you going to have the students practice? Is it going to be a quiz? Is it going to be just a skills worksheet? What are you going to have them do, right?
Okay, so we can also use, for example, Loom to teach the lesson, and then we would send you the video.
You wouldn't send me the video. You would upload the video to your classroom, and then you would send me the class code. And so when I click your code and I go and I look in your class, and I'm able to see the lesson that you created.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Loom is a good. Loom is very good. I really like Loom.
Yeah.
You're probably just logging in, but I just showed an example of Loom to some of the teachers that's already here. And that's how my my child's teacher used Google Classroom. She uses Loom, and my daughter go in and she click on the hyperlink. It takes her directly to Loom, and then she's able to watch the video. Let me see, I'll share it again for the new people that's coming in. Here it is right here. This is the lesson she teaches them through Loom. And she goes like, she create a PowerPoint and she goes like step by step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an example of how she teaches my daughter like virtually then.
Okay, great. So what I am to turn in the Google Classroom for you would be just the lesson plan, or everything has to be in my class?
I want to see your lesson plan. I want to see your actual lesson. If it's going to be a Loom video, I want to see that, as well as the assignment attached to it. So you're really creating a lesson plan and the lesson and the assignment related to that.
Okay, so that's what I have to send to you, not posted in my class Google Classroom.
You're not sending any of that to me. You're posting all of that in your class.
Oh, I'm posting.
Yeah, that's gonna be for your student. Your Loom video is for your student, and your lesson is gonna be for your student. So you guys see, you've been learning from us, and you see how we design your course, where you're logging in, then you get a lesson, and then you have an assignment that's related to that lesson that you learned from us, right? From your facilitators. It's the same concept. It's just that now you are the facilitator for your classroom, and now you're going to be the one who's going to be creating your lesson plan, your lessons, and your assignments. Right?
Okay.
You're going to be.
So for us to, for our assignment to not have assigned, we just turn in, just click the
Just
turn in button.
You're just gonna send me the classroom code and then click turn in. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be, because then I
Okay.
will then look at your code and go into Google Classroom, look up your code and look at the lesson you created.
Okay.
That's how
All
I'm
right
gonna
then.
see
Thank
what
you very much.
you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions?
Good afternoon, Miss Kendra.
Hi, good afternoon.
I just log in. I have a question, Miss.
Go ahead.
I teach multi-grade, Infant 1 and Infant 2. So my question is whether I'm going to do both assignments for prepare a lesson plan for Infant 1 and prepare a lesson plan for Infant 2 and do 2 assignments, or just focus on one class?
Well, because you teach 2 different courses, you're probably gonna have a classroom just for Infant 1 and another classroom you're gonna create for Infant 2. If you teach the same students throughout the day and you're just teaching multiple different subjects to the same students, you can have classrooms. But I think if you're teaching in 2 different classrooms,
It's my class is this. It's a one class, but I have 2 different group of children.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'll have to make sure that your classroom is, you're gonna have to specify, okay, this is lesson 1, Infant 1, lesson 1, Infant 2. So you're gonna have to make sure you specify which one is for, you know, which one is for Infant 2. And that's how you're gonna create your lesson. You make sure that you label it so that the students, when they do log on, they know where to go specifically for their lesson and they're not getting confused. But that is, again, it's creating a video for your Infant 1 and then creating a video for your Infant 2 if it's different, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you teach them both the same lessons, or it's different lessons, right? Because there's different level.
It's different. Sometimes it's the same topic for both classes, but in different activities for each one. So it depends on the topic that I would choose.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna have to create, if it's different topic, then you're gonna have to create a lesson plan for each grade in Infant 2.
Okay, thank you
But
very much.
if it's the same topic, then you just create one content for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Kendra.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, Ms. Carter. I'd just like to ask if after you review the lesson, you will give me personal feedback so that.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Am I to use the actual classes I have with my students, or I was of the impression we were to use the classroom we had created for this particular workshop?
Well, if you created a classroom now, and so it sounds like you already have classrooms for your students then. Is this correct?
Yes, I've been using those for my 3rd and 4th form students.
Okay, so if you already have Google Classrooms for them, then you probably will continue to use those same classes. This is for the teachers who never had Google Classroom before. They can now continue this particular Google Classroom and uploading their lesson plan. And now they can invite their actual students to the classroom when this program is over. So for you, you're gonna use, I guess, if you're not really, this is like you're not really assigning a lesson to your 3rd and 4th form students. But if you were, you would upload it there. Are they out of school now?
Yeah, we're almost at the end of the sessions with them. So so as not to create confusion, I would prefer to upload it to
Yeah,
the
that's
other
fine.
classroom I created for these sessions.
Yeah, since you're out of the session, yeah, it will be good for you to just create it for this particular class. But you should be familiar then. So this isn't hard for you. You know what to do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other questions? You do not need to invite me to your Google Classroom to send me the code. You can upload the code into you see your assignment, you can just upload the code right in there online. On the Google Classroom you have with me right now. That's how I've been getting the code from all of your fellow classmates. They've just been sending it to me. They upload it to the classroom, either in a comment or I think in the assignment area. So you don't have to add me to send me the code, no. Any other questions? Let me see. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the chat box so I could see if you guys have questions. Yes, if you want to use Microsoft Word for a lesson, for instance, if you're teaching on a specific culture for social studies and you have like a Microsoft Word notes in a Microsoft Word, you can just, that's fine. You can upload those notes to your classroom, have your students review those notes and then give them like a worksheet related to the notes that they just reviewed, or maybe give them a quiz related to the notes that they just reviewed. So you can use Microsoft Word, but it will probably be easier to do a PowerPoint and then just go through the slides with the students. But it's up to you, whatever you have that you feel most comfortable with. So it could be Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. For the most part, I think if you want to keep up with technology, you want to use like Microsoft, you want to use a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint slides, or maybe an actual interactive video. Okay. Any other questions? So it sounds like you guys got it. I'm gonna be here for another 15 more minutes. So if you have colleagues that are struggling, you can definitely let them know that I'm on and they can come on and ask me questions right now. I think Kendra Gale, do you have your hand up? Do you wanna pose your question? You have to unmute yourself though.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I'm still a bit confused.
Mm-hmm.
So, because right now at this moment, I'm doing my lesson plan both on Google Doc and Google Slide. So it's like I'm taking what I have in Google Doc and pasting it in my Google Slide. Because I was left confused as to what exactly we're supposed to be doing. Are we supposed to be doing the lesson plans in Google Slides or Google Docs?
This is up to you, Kendra. It's whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you feel like your lesson is better taught through a PowerPoint platform, then you can do that. If you feel like your lesson is taught through a video platform like Loom, you can do that. If you want to do your lesson plan by doing Google Docs, you're welcome to do that. You choose a platform that you want to use to virtually provide your lesson. And once your lesson is provided, then you will choose whether or not you want your students to do an assignment that's a worksheet, an assignment that's a quiz, an assignment that may be them just providing a feedback on what they learn. It's up to you. This is your class and you're choosing the lesson that you want to give to them and how you want the assignments to be. Now, you've learned in module 2 so many different ways that you can present a lesson. Either video, either PowerPoint, you can use Google Docs, you can use several different platforms. So you choose one of those platforms. The lesson plan is really for you to say, this is the lesson that I want to do for today. And then once you have that lesson that you already came up with, then you create the actual, this is how I'm going to teach them. How you're going to teach that lesson then. You came up with your lesson plan, now how you're going to teach it, right? And then after you decide how you're going to teach it, then you video, you do PowerPoint. And then after that, now that you've taught the lesson, what assignment you're going to assign related to this lesson that they just learned, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Hello, I see like some of you guys are just joining in. Please let me know your questions. I'm here for another 15 minutes, so let me know your questions so that I can help you. And for those of you who who already understand what it is, you're welcome to stay, but if you feel like you got it, you're welcome to log off too.
Hello.
Hi, Angela, you have a question?
Yeah, I was looking at the PowerPoint. And that's basically like it's not the actual lesson, but it's the actual lesson that you want us to do, right?
Yes. Well, you know how when you plan, you write down what you're planning to do, and that's you know, that's why I provided those examples for you. Like, what are you going to do for Monday? So you plan your lesson, right? And then once your lesson is written down, this is what you're planning to do, then you move to the next phase, which is, okay, how am I going to teach this lesson? Is it going to be through video? Is it going to be through PowerPoint? Is it going to be through just providing them with a Google Doc, right? You figure out the platform that you want to convey this lesson, right? So if you're choosing the PowerPoint, then you're going to present and prepare a PowerPoint for your students. And then you upload that PowerPoint to your classroom so your students can review that lesson. And then after that, you're going to say, okay, now how do I want to, what assignment I want to assign them that's related to this lesson. Just like how you see with your facilitators now for being in this class. I gave you a lesson, now you review how to do the lesson, and now you got to do the actual work, right? So it's the same concept. It's now that you're the facilitator for your class, and now you need to create everything that you've been doing with us on your own now, right?
Okay. All right. I hope I get it.
What class do you teach?
I teach standard 3.
And it's 5 different lessons or one subject for all day for different students?
I teach all subjects.
Okay.
So
what's your first class in the morning?
My first class is usually, I think it's math.
Math. So pick like, okay, today I want my students to learn multiplication, right? So that would what would be in your lesson plan. Now, how do you want to teach the multiplication to your students virtually? Are you planning to use a PowerPoint? Are you planning to use a video or Loom? You learned about Loom in module.
Yes.
So are you planning to use Loom maybe to kind of demonstrate while teaching, right? Go step by step so they could see you do it. Or present it on PowerPoint as well, and you learn how to do an interactive PowerPoint. So then you choose which platform you want to use to convey the lesson that you have planned, right?
Okay.
Once you do that, then your students are going to come in, they're going to review their lesson, and then you're going to give them an assignment that's related to your lesson.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Upload all of that information, your students come, they log in, and they get to see what they're set up to do for that day.
Okay. So they're basically on their own then, because it's not live.
Yeah, it's you. Do you have the ability to be live all day for each period? Probably not. So you probably have to be doing some distance learning here, and this is what we're teaching you guys.
Yeah.
The lessons can be live. You might want to have office hours that's going to be live. Hey guys, every Monday, like for my kids, they are in primary school. Every Monday at 10 a.m., their teacher have a live Zoom. We all log in and we talk to the teacher and ask questions. Some teachers will say, okay, my students are struggling with math or they're struggling with this. They will create a live session and let the students know, hey, I'm going to be on to go over this live with you. And you're able to share your screen, so you can always, you know, if you're sharing your screen, you can always write or type on your computer and show your students how to do that lesson. So it's up to you to choose which platform you want to use and whichever is most yes for you as the teacher.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Janie, is it Janine? Janine, you actually do have to provide me with the lesson plan that you're going to use. You're actually going to have to then create a platform in how you're going to convey that lesson. Is it going to be PowerPoint? Is it going to be through a video? You're going to create that video and upload it as the lesson for your students to review. And then you're going to create an assignment based on that lesson. So you're actually going to be providing, it's like if your student is coming into your classroom, like how you're coming into my classroom here on Google Classroom, you get a lesson, which is a video or a lecture, you know, a video lecture or PowerPoint, whatever it may be. You review that, and then you have an assignment based on what you review. So basically, you're going to be doing that.
So we have to give you the lesson plan as well.
Your lesson plan is really, like, I made it really simplistic, but my understanding is the lesson plans in Belize is a little bit more comprehensive, and it's different over there. The lesson plan, for instance, I'll share my screen. This is a lesson plan that I get for my kid. Like, this is what the teacher sent. This is a lesson plan for, it was 5/19. So it was last Tuesday, I believe. And so, you know, we did all of that. And that's just how it is, but it's a little bit different for you guys. Apparently your lesson plan is a little bit more comprehensive, like, which is why I gave you guys the example that I gave you. For instance, math, her plan for math for the week, she gave us 3 slides. Okay, so on Monday, my daughter is going to be working on fractions and whole numbers, right? And so she's going to be working on this on Monday. And then on Tuesday, she's going to work in her math book.
Okay.
And, she's given us a page number. Like, these are links. If I click them, I think it takes me somewhere, but since I'm not live with it, it won't do it. But yeah, so this is a lesson, this is another lesson plan that she provides, and she attached all of this information to her Google Classroom. So my daughter is able to open up each of these lessons, and she's able to click on them. Like, let me see if I click on this, what's gonna happen. Like, if I click on this, it opens up the actual lesson. She gives a PDF version. I don't think you guys are going to be that savvy yet. It takes time to get here, so I'm not expecting that at all. But this is what is attached to the assignment. based on the lesson she provided, now she gives them a worksheet that they have to complete and turn in to her, right? So the lesson is attached each day that she gives her lesson plan. This is a simple lesson plan. My understanding is you guys' lesson plan does not look anything like this, and it's a lot complex. Which is why I gave you this example, because it's a lot more simplistic. But I want you now to make sure that your lesson plan is also geared towards what you're expected to do based on the requirement of your school, right? This is something that you can plan for your student. You give them a brief version of what your lesson plan would be. It wouldn't be as comprehensive because it's going to the student, as opposed to the ones that you maybe have to turn in to your administration is gonna be a lot more comprehensive.
Okay.
So yeah, this is if you want to, you know, give your student a snapshot, or not a snapshot, but a sneak peek then of what the lesson is going to be, right?
Okay.
Really simple. Again, this is like the lesson plan for Wednesday, right? So now my daughter knows what she has to do on Wednesday. And I think the reason that we didn't get this when they were on campus, right? But this was created now because it's virtual, and they know that, okay, we need to be a little bit more detailed with parents understanding what they need to do for their kids. Now, it was helpful for me to be able to look at this and figure out what every single day my kid had to get done, right? So it's definitely more simplistic. For science, if you know science, then it's the same thing on Monday. If it's going to be something they can work on for the entire day or the entire week, then she makes it clear by having the dates up here. For this week, they're supposed to do a shoebox game, which is really just, I think, creating a shoebox game. I don't know. They were supposed to create their own particular game. So, and then for PE, if you teach PE, it's simple as saying, okay, this is what I need you to do, right? She takes the liberty of sending a particular worksheet that, you know, that she wants them to do one of these exercises, and I usually videotape them doing it for a couple seconds, and then I send it in to her and she grades it. So it's really simple, little things like this. Unfortunately, I do know that for you guys, the lesson plan seems a little bit more comprehensive. So it, you know, that's definitely based on your school. Whatever you create, you want to make sure you consider the requirements of your school and what they want you to do for lesson planning. But it's always good to have a brief lesson plan for your students so they can get a sneak overview of what to expect. And like I said, I didn't get this for them when they were going to campus live, you know, every day. But I got this once it went over to virtual, because the teacher wanted to give me more of a snapshot of what was expected for my student each week. So it's why I thought about the simplistic lesson plan for your students, and for the parents who's going to be at home with them. They need to know, okay, this is what I'm in for the week, you know, because they're also working and they have to figure out schedules and stuff to do this lesson plan. But I mean, it's something that you can definitely, if you find that, oh man, the examples that I provided is a lot more beneficial, then it's definitely something to consider talking to your school about, to see maybe if they can make it a little bit more simplistic, because you do have to plan around all of this, and it's a lot of planning. It's online, to me, once I transitioned to online, it seemed a lot more harder to plan, because you literally have to plan each day. Like, you have to plan your lesson, you have to do then your PowerPoint, whereas for a live lecture, you already know in your head how to teach it, so you don't have to write it down, and you can just say, okay, this is what I'm teaching today. You go to the board and you do what you need to do. it's different virtually. You have to actually have your students see something, right? You have to have them hear something. Have you teach live virtually or on a video. So it is a little bit different.
Right, I understand now.
Any other questions? Was it more clear for you guys as to what you should be doing?
I hate it because I am just never heard what the schools on the morning. I'm sorry.
What question? What do you have? You know, you can ask the question. Do you have a question?
I don't know if you could hear me. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I could hear you.
All right, this is Miss Matilda. I submitted my work yesterday, but I'm not sure if it's correctly. That is the way you want it. I always try to do my best.
Okay. What did you submit? Was it the outline
the
of
PowerPoint? The PowerPoint.
Which is
and
a
I
lesson?
My lessons, my outline. I call it outline what I use for this right now because it's not a lesson, perfect lesson. Like a lesson carry more details.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that you will guiding children for do at home. Because where I'm teaching is the village is hard for them to have access to technology.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna try to teach them, like, what lesson did you create? Was it math? Was it science?
I put all the subjects. If you have seen my one, I have all the subjects for the year. What I teach math, language arts, Spanish, and I just do it in a simple way so that the parents could understand it and they could help their child at home.
Okay, now are the students gonna have to go to a book, or how are you going?
Yes, I give them workbooks before I left the last day, and I just tell them.
So you give them the page numbers that they need to go.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Now, is there any lecture that you're gonna do for them? Like, is it gonna be like a video lecture? Just show them a PowerPoint? How are you gonna convey the lesson?
Or the activities, what I do is like outside. They'll like, let's say I'm doing measurement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I will tell them to go outside, watch the coconut palm tree and the mango, and they will tell me, or tell their parents because I'm not there. It's not like I'm there. Yeah. Tell which one is tall, which one is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
We are measuring the length or height too at the same time.
Okay. And then for your math class, are you going to teach your students via video, or how are you going to teach them your math lesson that they're supposed to be learning?
All right, normally I do that when I am there in the school, but like I'm telling, it's difficult for them. They don't have them access to technology. They don't have computer. I normally do it by text. So I explain them by detail to their parents. Because some parents doesn't have a phone, some parents borrow to the neighbors to. So when I text the neighbor, they never tell them a message.
Okay, so mainly yours will just gonna be sending them text on what lesson plan they're supposed to be doing, what page numbers, and what assignments they should be turning into you. How are they turning in their assignments? Will they upload it? Will they?
Going there tomorrow to check on them. Okay. That I will do a visit there tomorrow at school.
Okay, so they turn it into the school? They bring it all in and turn it in there to the school?
Well, I am asking a parents' cooperation, so I will be visiting them at home.
Oh, okay.
See if they have any problem, then at the same time, if they have, I will explain to them in details everything. And whatever they don't have, I'll collect them the worksheet or the books.
That's a lot. You have to, I mean, that.
Yes, but that is the only option because it's hard for right here in this.
Yeah, because if they don't have access to technology, they can't.
No, it's hard.
Upload anything, or even if you do a video, they're not going to be able to see it. So yeah, some places is going to be difficult. Yeah, well, I mean, in your circumstances, I guess it's a little bit different, but for other people that, for instance, the teachers that may be teaching more in the I guess the city area, you would say, like maybe
it would be more easier,
or Kyle, or Bell Pond, they'll have access to all of that stuff. So,
yes.
So doing a video PowerPoint presentation is going to be a lot more helpful, and it's easier for the kids that live in those areas to access it as opposed to the kids that live more in the villages or in the areas where internet access is not feasible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Dr.
get it.
Kendra.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Jeannie. Is this Jeannie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'd just like to share with the teacher that it would be a good idea for her to get some practice, even if the students aren't able to view the presentations. She should try to see how she could make use of what she's learning and do some, use one of the ways to convey that lesson to them if they were to access a computer or the internet.
Yeah.
As
Did you
a
hear her?
requirement for the course, I think it would be important that she does practice what she would normally do if they were to get access.
Yeah. Miss Chi, did you hear that? Is it Miss Chi?
Oh, Miss Che, yes.
Miss Che, yeah. Did you hear Jeannie?
Yes, I practice everything what is in the on the workshop, right? Online. I practice everything. But I'm just explaining my point of view that I can use it to them right now at the moment, right?
Right.
But in any case, I am transferred to a next school, like they have assistive technology. Well, I know what to do right now, right? You understand? But I'm
Right, but
explaining my
I'm just
point of
saying
the
as a requirement for the course, you should, for the lesson that you provide as your sample, use one of the platforms that was shared with you so that you could demonstrate that you know how to do it in the event so you could get feedback as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be.
I understand. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes, someone said they just logged in. Really, we're just going over what the lesson plan is. And I was explaining that the lesson plan is really and truly something that I started getting. But when my kids were going to regular school, I never got a lesson plan from the teachers. I only get lesson plan now because they're actually online, and the teachers, they want us to know what the students are supposed to be doing. So the lesson plans that I get are very simplistic. It's just briefly telling me this is what they're going to do today, this is what they're going to do tomorrow. And you guys' lesson plan is a lot more comprehensive from what I'm hearing. So what you're going to be doing is going to be making sure that as you create your lesson plan, you're adjusting it to the requirements of your school, right?
Dr. Ken?
Go ahead, Jeannie.
I like the format you're using. I would just advise, I had shared in the chat, my only recommendation would be for teachers to ensure that they use the behavioral objectives where they ensure that the verb in the objective is measurable. And when they communicate to parents, they would know exactly what they expect of the students. So it's just consistency of the terms, but I like the format. And certainly parents don't need the full lesson plan that they will be submitting to their principals.
Yeah, no, it would be definitely a little bit more simplistic. And I think that's why the teachers do the one that they sent, the examples that I provided, because it's a little bit, it's just giving parents a snapshot, parents and students a snapshot of what is expected of the students today. And it keeps us kind of in the know of what they're expecting to do every day. So it's great, but like I said, I'm not expecting you guys to stick exactly to what the examples I provided. You're very much open to making sure your lesson plan adheres to, what it is that your school requires. Let me see. I think I have another question. For high school teachers, do you need to do one lesson plan? Well, it depends. If you teach only one subject throughout your classroom or throughout your day, then yes, you only have that one lesson that you plan. But if you're teaching several different subjects, then you'll probably have to definitely create, each hour what you're doing. If you're teaching math for period 1, science for period 2, then you'll have a lesson plan for each of those time frames. So if you're in high school and you teach the same subject, then it will just be one lesson. Yes. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have for me? The lesson plan, yes, is only for one day, but when you start regular school and when you start using this, it'll grow. You'll have to do your lesson plans for every week. Or I don't know what is required for you to do it every week or monthly. You'll have to create that. Even if you don't have internet, Jeannie just said that even if you do not have access to internet and your students will not have access to the internet, you still have to create the lesson in the Google Classroom. This is for you guys to get familiar with how to virtually and teach like in a distance learning platform. So you still need to do it. You still need to practice even if you if your students won't have access to the internet. Yes, it is the lesson plan that you're given a snapshot, the lesson plan. You're not a snapshot, a sneak peek of what your lesson plan is going to be for the course. And then you're creating that lesson. So if your lesson plan say it's gonna be math, you're gonna be teaching math, then you're gonna videotape yourself teaching that lesson. And then you're gonna upload that video into the classroom so your students can view that video. And then, AJ, sorry.
I'm confused now.
Sorry, my son fell, sorry. Okay, so if you're creating, like, let me share my screen again so you guys can see. This is an example of what I created, just as an example for you, okay? Sorry, guys.
Well, that is the same one I follow.
So if your lesson is gonna be math, then what platform are you going to use to teach that math? Is it going to be a PowerPoint? Is it going to be a video lecture? What platform are you going to choose? So you get that you have a lesson. What lesson are you going to teach for period 1? Okay, you're going to teach math. Then you move on to period 2, science. Now you have to then pick what platform you're going to use to convey that lesson. Is it going to be a PowerPoint? Is it going to be a video? Right? Then you record yourself teaching your student that lesson. You upload the video or you upload the PowerPoint, whatever it is, to your Google Classroom. And then you're going to give them an assignment that is based on that lesson. Was that helpful? Rose, do you have a question? I see. I can't hear you. I'm not sure if you have one. I heard someone said they were still confused. So you got it.
Start Korean now. All right. The weather good.
Oh, someone is not mute. You say the weather is good. It's hot over here too. Very hot. Okay, Miriam, you said you was a little confused, but you get it now? Okay, good. I want to know how to do the link in the classroom. Concy, what can you let me know a little bit more about what you want to know? How to hyperlink, you mean? You have to unmute so I can hear you. Concy? It says Concy on here. Yeah, go ahead. You want to tell me? I see you pose a question. It says, "Good afternoon. I want to know how to do the link in Google Classroom." What kind of link? Your link for a lesson, or? I'm not very clear on your question. So if you can make it more clear. Oh, you said yes. Well, you can definitely hyperlink whatever lesson you create, but you would have to save it, I believe, as a PDF, and then you have it as a hyperlink. You can hyperlink anything, but the way that you would hyperlink it would be you're actually creating it, and then I think, let me see if I can show you how to do hyperlinking. Did you mean like how this is? Like if I click on this link, it will take me directly to like the workout? Then it has a, you are creating that in your Google Drive that's created for your students. So the way that you would hyperlink this would be, I think you could copy and paste it. Or if you write, for instance, if you write something in Microsoft Word, it's easy to hyperlink. Like, let me see. And the way you hyperlink is you would highlight and then you go to where it says hyperlink, and then you would enter in so it's as easy as that. And then if you click, if you click on here again, you can open the link and it'll take me directly to this page. I'll post a video on how to hyperlink for you guys. It's very easy. It's really simple. I'm not sure if that answered your question, but I hope it did. Okay. Yes, I asked for the classroom code, Miriam. So when you're gonna, what you turn into me is just your classroom code. And then when we start to review all of the lessons for this particular class, we're going to click on your code and we're going to go into your classroom to review what you have done. And then we probably give you feedback on, some of you have already received my feedback because I've been going into some of your classes and I gave you feedback on saying, hey, I need you to create a lesson, or I need you to create an assignment, right? I'm not gonna have the ability to do that for all of you guys. I'm not gonna have the ability to do it for everyone right away. So it'll take some time. I know some of you are sending me messages wanting me to review your class right away. I'll get to it, or someone else will get to it and they'll give you feedback. But I'll go through whatever it is that I can, but I don't want to promise that I'll get through everything because it's a lot. So, but I will go through each of your classrooms, and either me or another facilitator will go through it and we'll give you guys feedback on what it is that you need to do to make it better, or if you pretty much did what we asked you to do. But I don't want you to think that we're expecting perfection, because I know that this is new and I know that you guys won't be able to just get it done pat right away. It'll take some time. So the only thing you're submitting to me here is the code. Your lesson and everything will go into your classroom that you created. Oh, Concy, you want to know how you can link the activity to the lesson. I can definitely share that information within the classroom. It's definitely not hard. You'll have to have a Google Drive, and what you do is you will link all of your assignments directly to your Google Drive. But I'll post that tutorial on how to do that for you. Is it Pidad? Pidad wanted to know, good afternoon. I want to know if the lesson needs to be done on PowerPoint first. No, you can choose whatever platform you want to do. For me, I have to plan all of my lessons on PowerPoint and then I do a video. But that's just how I am. If you're really savvy and you don't need to do a PowerPoint, you can just start teaching your lesson. I always try to get as much organization as I can before I teach a lesson. And so I always create my PowerPoint and then I do my videos, because my PowerPoint kind of guide me along each step of the way as I'm creating my lesson. So it's up to you. For now, maybe it'll be helpful to plan out your lesson and then videotape yourself doing it. So that's my suggestion. I have some more messages here. Oh, someone said we already had a lesson on hyperlink. So Concy, I don't know. Was that lesson in module 2, William? I don't know if William is still here, but he said you already have a lesson on hyperlinking. So you might have missed that lesson, Concy, but apparently in module 2, you guys learned how to hyperlink. Okay, let me see the next message here. Like I mentioned, you don't necessarily need to follow the examples that I provided for your lesson plan. You will go with the lesson plan that you've been using for your particular classes out there. I am just providing mine as a guide for tips and ideas on how to create a lesson plan, but you're really going to be doing it. You're going to be doing it the way that's related to like how your school has been doing it or how they've required you to do it. Now, if you want to make sure that your version is not as comprehensive as the ones you turn into the administrator, I suggest that, because you really don't need to have a comprehensive lesson plan for the parents. They just need a brief overview of what you're expecting for their students to do. So, which is the examples I provided are very simple, but make sure that whenever you create your lesson plan, again, that it matches what your school is requiring you to do. I know Jeannie mentioned that all of you guys lesson plan have to have a behavioral objective. So that's something that you'll have to add into all of your lesson plan. You can submit the code. For the most part, people are submitting the code into their Google Classroom, into the classroom. I think you just submit it in the comment box and you turn it into me. That's what most people have been doing. So it says you just have to turn it into me. I understand that for some of you, you have several different classes, like 6 classes in one day. I have to be realistic, and I know that you're not going to be able to get all of those lesson plans to me in that 1 hour. So you're definitely open to working on your lesson plan until, I guess, next week, because next week is the last. You have 2 entire weeks for this last module. So you can get it done you know, over that time period. And like I said, today I didn't assign you anything today because I wanted you to take that hour to work on it. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at all of your questions in the chat box. Someone says, what do I require? What do you require from us is the actual carrying of the lesson. Yes, I am requiring you guys to have an actual lesson. You're going to be teaching an actual lesson, right? You're going to have to show a video or a PowerPoint of yourself teaching a lesson to your students. And then after you've taught that lesson, what assignment are you going to give your students? Okay. I think I've answered all of those questions. If I can. Yes, you're welcome to use the template that you use at your school to teach. You don't, the ones like I said, the ones I provided are just examples for you as a guide, some tips on what you want to include on a brief lesson plan. Oh, and Concy, Anna just said in Google Drive, there is an icon you can click to add video or link. So, you need to have, Ms. Che, you need to have your lesson added to your Google Classroom. I don't need to see your lesson because all I need is your code and I'm gonna go into your classroom to see it. So whatever it is you're creating, you're putting that in your classroom. All right, so you don't need to upload your lesson to their model 3. You need to upload your lesson to your class that you created because I'm gonna go in there to look and see how you've done that, all right? Okay, guys, any other question? I have about 2 more minutes. Jeannie, did you have anything else you wanted to add real quick?
No, thanks, Dr. Kendra. I really appreciate you going live for your students, giving them
I had a lot of questions, so I figured might as well I just do a live really quickly so that I can answer the questions that they may have.
And as they begin to use the platform to provide instruction from a distance, they will have questions and concerns that they must feel open to share. We're here to support them. This course is for beginners. As we said, it's transitioning. You must embrace every opportunity to do so. And if you don't know, don't be hesitant to ask. You're also able to go online and just via Google, you could find tutorials that could also assist you. So just take your time, do your best, and ask any questions you have as you go along.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, well, thank you so much. And I hope this was very helpful for you guys. I'll try to see if there's any other concerns that come up to see if I can do a live again by the end of the week, but I'm not so sure because my schedule is very busy, but I'll definitely try to see if I can. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye.